Hello and welcome back to the second episode of
Not sure what's going on, but it's happening.
Today we're going to be talking about how to deal with stress and how to handle crash outs plus the recovery process.
Are we the hosts?
Obviously we're the hosts.
Well, no, I felt like we should introduce. But I think part of this podcast, especially in the name, it just kind of sums up the fact that we are kind of a chaotic mess. So the fact that we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm a host. I'm Giovanna.
I'm also a host and I'm Callie.
We're here.
So let's just jump into it. So we both wrote down some points about how to deal with stress, how to handle crash outs, and how to recover from them. Because as high school students, around midterms, this is a very common theme. So we figured we'd share some tips that have helped us at least. Mm-hmm. So do you want to start with a few points?
I can start. I feel our like Google Docs that I'm looking at, mine's like a couple bullet points and Callie has like paragraphs. Like first section topic is how do we specifically deal with stress, and my theory, I'm like a theology,
Just speak. Yes, just speak.
Philosopher. My theory that I have gathered over time from obviously being in school my whole life is spend time to save time. So I feel like a lot of the times you're going about your life and you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. So then you start cutting things out of your life when in reality you need to take time to relax a little bit or like read your Bible. I always will tell myself, I'm like, oh, like I don't have time for that. And then it's like, wait, it's your Bible. You have time to read that. And then you can go on with your life. And I'm never like, oh, I wish I didn't read my Bible. Like you're never going to say that to yourself. Yeah. So I think it's really important to spend time on things that are important. And it could even just be things like family and prioritizing that, because at the end of the day, having those things that are going to refuel you are going to actually help you save time and be able to be more productive and lock in.
Dang, that was a super good point. Okay. Mine is, the first point I have is, it's write a to-do list, but you're going to highlight the most important things. Because I often find myself making a to-do list with a ton of different points. I probably have like somewhere between 10 and 15 points. I always find myself, I'm like, okay, well, I don't have time in a day to get all this done, plus, breathe. Okay, Sully, get down. That's my cat, Sully. Well, my sister's cat. So you're going to take time to highlight the most important things on your to-do list so you can prioritize the most important things so that way you're more efficient with your time. And I know that doesn't work for everybody, but I think that's a good place to start just to see where your priorities are at.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's very important. What I do is when I make my to-do list, the things that normally come to me first are normally the things that need done. Mm-hmm. So normally they lean towards the top of the list, but I feel like that's a very good point about just like prioritizing, because sometimes I will say I put down the most random things that like really don't need done when you have like actual major things that need to be completed. Definitely. And then I'm like, work on a painting, and it's like, you might enjoy that, but you might also really not have time to start a new painting and spend an hour just looking for inspiration also. Yeah. So.
Exactly.
My next point is sleep in capital letters.
That's so real.
Because I feel like I have a southern accent now.
Yeah. I heard that. I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually from Alabama or Louisiana. I don't know where I'm from. What?
Okay.
I just started going off.
Talk about sleep.
I need some. But I feel like when you are truly well rested, you're going to be able to get your work done faster. And I feel like it's a very simple thing that we all are like, you start working on things and then you go to bed late and then you're like, oh, I have to wake up early in the morning. And then suddenly you don't have any sleep because you think you're saving time. But sometimes if, say you have to write a paper and you sit down to write your paper, but you're really tired, you're not going to write the whole paper. But if you have the energy to, you probably can write the paper. I think it's another one of those things where it's like spend time to save time. And it's like, if you sleep, you're going to be more productive. You're going to save time by sleeping for 8 hours a day, or just more than normal. Because one time I went through a phase of like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, and I'm more productive now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I have listening to music that fits the mood. And it's not just music that will change your mood, because I see a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm just in like a low point in life right now. I'm going to put on like the happiest playlist to change my mood. Well, recently I was in a place where I was just overwhelmed with everything. So I needed to listen to music that was more, not sad, but more like relaxing, sort of sad vibes. I made a playlist that had maybe like 5 songs. And I just listened to that on repeat for maybe like a week and a half. More than anything else, I think if I was listening to happy music at that time, it would have just sort of drowned out my thoughts and not helped my mental state. And I think by picking a playlist and songs that fit your mood, you're sort of acknowledging how you feel in that moment, which I think is a big problem.
You're just like speaking facts over here. I'm like, this is like perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a problem a lot of people have, is that they don't want to acknowledge their feelings, and that ends up making things worse. So I think pick music that will help. Sometimes you don't want to just sit with your thoughts the whole time.
I feel like you have to like work through things to be able to like actually work on stuff. My next one was write it all down. Like make sure you have all of your things that you need to do right now, but that's already been covered. So I would say lock your phone away. This is something where for the longest time, like I would like, when you start scrolling on your phone and you're like, I'm gonna look for 1 minute, and it's 30 minutes later and you're on brain rot Instagram Reels, and it's all AI and it's really bad, and my Instagram Reels is cursed, so I just try to like completely avoid it at all costs, and I have found that helps a lot, but I know that's also very hard to just like be like, never touch the Reels in Instagram. Yeah. So when you like lock your phone away. I just normally power it off all the way, or what I'll find myself doing is you're doing something with your phone, you leave it somewhere, you walk away, you're now like, where's my phone? I need it. You probably don't need your phone. So I just don't go looking for my phone anymore. And when I come back upon my phone, I do that. And I find it's really productive because my brain rot on my Instagram Reels has been worse than normal. And I have been on my phone more than normal. So I've been trying to implement this extra recently. And like I even found myself the other day, I had gone somewhere and my phone was in my car, and I was so productive. I came in my house and I started doing a lecture that I had to do for school and taking notes on it and then doing my reading assignment. And then I found myself, I literally walked in the door, sat my bags down, started doing my work. And then it was an hour and a half later and I was like, wait, where's my phone? And it was in my car. Like, I had fully forgotten about it because I'm trying to implement the fact of just don't go looking for your phone. I find myself, I'll be like, I need to check my phone. What am I checking?
No, exactly. I have that problem all the time. I'll be working on something for school, and I usually depends where I keep my phone during the day. Sometimes it's on the couch that's on the other side of my room, or sometimes it's in my desk drawer. And when it's in my desk drawer, I find myself constantly getting distracted. I'll constantly go on there again. I'll see like, oh, I've got a text that leads down a rabbit trail. And then it ends up being like 30 minutes later, and I'm like, okay, I really need to get this done. That is a really good...
Yeah, I just force myself to not go looking for it. It's not even locking my phone away, because then you're thinking about the fact that you, like, put your phone somewhere else. It's just not looking for my phone. Because why am I carrying my phone around my whole house? Yeah. What am I doing? What am I doing carrying it from the dining room to the kitchen when I make coffee? Yeah. You do not need your phone. It's not even like I'm scrolling on my phone. It's just like I'm opening my phone and closing all the apps and then, like, redoing it.
So my final point for this category is sort of what I discussed last time. You need to just sit in silence with your thoughts. Like, you can't sit there with the music. You can't sit there blasting music. You can't sit there watching a show. You need to sit there in dead silence. Sometimes for a while, just so you can hear your thoughts, because it's bad. We live in a culture where we want to constantly, block out our thoughts, drown them out, so that way we don't have to think about them. But why do you think so many people have escalating mental health problems? It's because they're not taking time to sit down and evaluate what their emotions are. So you need to sit down and hear, what is my mind going through? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? And sometimes it helps to write them out. Just write down every thought that crosses your mind. That'll help bring clarity. It'll help organize your thoughts. I know that's a hot take, but sometimes you need to just sit in silence.
No, but I completely agree with that, because there's been some times, I feel like I bring up YouTube, but I was coming up with the YouTube video ideas and I could not come up with anything. I was like, I don't want to just vlog another boring day. I want to do something. I couldn't come up with anything. I was like, my brain is not working. And when I am looking for ideas, I end up scrolling on YouTube, scrolling on my phone, trying to come up with these things. But then I literally have a sticky note on my wall from the day I had this realization. I was just like, just sit there and think. I literally laid on my bed, put my head down in my pillow, and keep in mind, I cannot take naps. I was not going to take a nap. I laid down, put my head in my pillow, and just laid there, and ideas came. And it's because I wasn't distracting myself. It's because my brain could truly just think without any other things infiltrating your thoughts.
Yeah, it's actually so healthy to just sit there and allow your mind to think, instead of just constantly overwhelming it with the dopamine rush of, scrolling on your phone, going on Reels, answering texts, getting text messages.
It's not even getting really texts and text messages. It's like opening my phone, seeing that no new notifications have come to an app, closing the app, going to the next one, and then repeating it with the same app you just closed. Like,
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
so bad. I'll be checking my email. What am I checking my email for? All I get is People Royals emails.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's like there's no point to keep checking these things. Just find something else to do.
Like, next thing you know, I'll be checking the Files app on my phone. I'll be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's actually so bad.
Like, it hasn't gotten to that point, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets there. Okay, I feel so smart with it. I'm about to pull up.
Okay.
That's my thought. It's Parkinson's law.
Okay.
So this is an actual law, and it's the theory of, like, say you have a to-do list, or not a to-do list. Say you have an assignment for school, and it's due on a Monday, and your thought process is normally, I'm going to work on it on Friday. Or, better idea, you have a bunch of assignments due on Monday, and normally you're going to start these at the end of the week after your classes are over, and then you're not getting anything done. If you push that deadline closer to you, you're going to get it done faster. And I watched a whole video on this by Madeline Mack, and it's the Parkinson's law theory, and basically she started what did she do? Oh, she wrote a book and started a podcast, all in 5 days, because she had the deadline of the end of the year, and then she said, I'm going to do this in 1 week. And quickly, as she was doing it, she realized how much more productive she was when creating a whole book and podcast. And then she actually, I think, completed it all in 5 days rather than the week plan she had. But basically, you're basically wasting time. And if you really set in stone a deadline that is sooner, you're going to get it done sooner, and you're going to realize that you can work much more productive. And then I implemented this, or I didn't like formally implement this in my life, but I started to be like, Gigi, you're wasting time. Like, imagine the deadline's tomorrow. And then I was able to do everything so much faster because you're no longer like, well, I have time. Like, and it's a really hard thing because my mom was always the person saying, move your deadline up for your paper sooner, and then you're never going to be rushed at the end. And sadly, Parkinson's law, research it. It's like something that like I recently discovered, and I'm like,
yeah,
I did a really bad job at explaining it. But Madeline Mack's YouTube video on it, she's like the most productive human that the world has ever witnessed. She's waking up at like 4 a.m, and like she's like working so much. She's like timing all of her work. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps. I feel like all those points, obviously everything is going to be different for everybody. Mm-hmm. Take that with a grain of salt, I guess. Mm-hmm. So moving on to crash outs, because we all have them.
So my first point is touch grass. Which is like...
Yeah, I feel like when people say that, it sounds so like basic and generic, but it's the meaning behind it. It's not just like, let me go
I
pet
am
piece
the
of grass.
person to crash out to the point of tears and like basically yelling. Like, I'm never yelling, but I'm like silently yelling. I am like full on losing my mind. There was a time over the summer. It was actually at the end of last school year. So it was like finals, essays, everything was happening. And I was so mad over, I think it was an essay I was writing. And it was on Mother's Day. And I literally just sat outside and like sat in the grass. I was like, Gigi, reconnect with nature. And I don't know what is in the nature, but it's amazing.
God.
Whenever I'm like crashing out, I literally just go sit outside. And it's definitely harder because it's cold outside in the winter. There's been some times I've definitely seen myself going outside in the winter. But just going outside and being like, and just like forgetting about the school or the work or whatever is literally anything in life could be causing a crash out, and just like touching grass and being like, wait, it's not that serious. And it's one of those things that everyone's like, touch grass. No, go touch grass. I've talked about this in multiple YouTube videos now because I've realized, go sit outside. I also find myself really productive when I'm working outside. I don't know what's happening there, but I go sit at a picnic table outside and I do work.
Yeah, also just a change of scenery really helps, which could be part of it. My first one is, don't be afraid to treat yourself. If you're crashing out, clearly there's something going on. So don't be afraid to, sit there and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have like okay, I'm not a huge fan of like the term like self-care just because it feels so like, I don't know, kind of gross. But it's just the general idea around it. Like, you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go shower. I'm going to maybe get myself a nice drink. I'm going to get a snack and just like watch a show or something that you like. Maybe read a book, maybe go sit outside or something. But just do something that you really like. Instead of, if I'm sitting there, I'm writing an essay. Say I'm writing my senior thesis. I've been working on it for probably 5 hours straight at this point, and I'm losing my mind. I'll be like, you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to...
Sorry. I clicked backspace and I moved everything up a page.
It's on it. And then I'm going to Everything's all over the place now.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You can literally just click the undo button. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go downstairs, I'll like get a snack or something, and then I'll just take some time, maybe like 10 minutes to sort of recenter myself before I go back to doing something else. And just something simple like, oh wait, I have a snack that I really like downstairs. I'm going to go take a break, eat that, and then get back to what I'm doing. It really helps.
I actually have I have a topic from the next section of our crash out handling skills that I'll connect to that one, but it's relax with the time that you have, because I feel like a lot of the time when you are crashing out, you need to relax, but I think you also then have this mindset of, wait, I have all this stuff to do, I don't have time to relax. But I feel like everything is going back to my first one of like, spend time to save time, and truly relax. Truly, like, whenever you're like taking a little break from something, don't take a break but have your work pulled up or be thinking about it. Like, literally disconnect yourself fully from everything, and just like, because I find myself like being like, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna watch a show, and then I'm on my phone. This damn phone, or it's my iPad too. It's like, just like fully relax on something and disconnect and take a break and then come back to it. Because when you're like, oh, I'm gonna go downstairs and get a snack, and then you're doing something else at the meantime, you're not fully like in the moment getting that snack and relaxing. You're like doing two other things at once.
It's about separating yourself from your work.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
So this goes back to what I said about the stress, but make a list of everything you have to do, everything you've accomplished, because don't just write down, oh my goodness, I have this, and this to do. Say, you know what, today I've already done this, and I've done this. Don't just completely disregard those when making your list. Give yourself the satisfaction of writing those down and being able to cross those off. Mm-hmm. But also, more than that, write a list of just your thoughts. Even if it's just like, you know what, right now I'm really stressed about this. And it can be as simple as that. Like right now I'm really stressed about my essay. Just writing it down means that you have mentally accepted that that's what's going on, and that's when you can start to recover.
So my next one is look at what's in front of you and work through one thing at a time, because I feel like when you make the to-do list, which I love making a to-do list, I make a to-do list every single day. I could have nothing going on and I'm going to make a to-do list. That is what I do. But I feel everybody does this, where they look at the to-do list and they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. How am I going to do this? And then you spend time wasting time, and that takes you nowhere. It actually sets you back. So if you just pick one thing that you're going to do, so say you have an essay to write, because that's a very simple thing to like use as an example. Say Frederick has an essay to write.
Yes, Frederick
has an essay to write, and he also has 2 other essays for 2 other classes.
Yes.
To write.
Lots of essays.
He has all the essays to do. So he's looking at this and going, wow, I have so many outlines to make, so many essays to write. How am I going to do this all? Frederick just needs to look at the first essay and work on that first essay, because you're going to feel so much more productive when you see that a whole essay is knocked off, rather than like a couple steps or a couple sentences of each essay are written. It's going to be a lot easier to look at it and say, now I only have 2 essays left to write. Really just like look at one thing, focus on one thing, because I'm definitely someone who finds myself, I'll be editing and I'll edit something and then I'll go like do a teeny bit of an assignment and then I'll edit a minute of footage, and then I'll like, it's like you need to lock in on one thing at a time, and it's easier said than done. But once you are locked in, you're actually going to be like so locked in that you're not going to go back to that other thing.
Yeah, this reminds me, at the beginning of the year, we started watching the Rosary in a Year podcast from Ascension Press, just every night before we would go to bed. And one of the points that he brought up each night at the end was it was poco a poco or poco a poco, I don't know. But it means little by little. So it just means that just start doing the small steps. Start by, okay, I'm going to write 3 sentences. Well, then maybe you're in a creative flow. I'm going to write 2 more sentences.
Yes.
3 more, 5 more. And it reminds me of the one song, it's this one Christmas movie. And it's like talking about how this one guy's trying to learn how to walk. And it's about like putting one foot in front of the other. I think of that song sometimes because I think that that's just a more relatable version of Poco a Poco for me. Is just take it one step at a time. It doesn't have to be a big step. It doesn't have to be some like grand thing. I don't have to knock out that essay in one sitting. I have to write a sentence. Start with a simple goal, something manageable. Write the sentence. That's as easy as it is.
Because I feel like when you tell yourself, I'm going to work for 5 minutes, then once you get to that 5 minutes, you're like, okay, I can do another 5 minutes. So then you do another 5 minutes, and soon you're not even paying attention to the time because you actually like kind of like slowly worked yourself in to completing a project that you need to complete.
I just remembered this, but it's kind of like, it deals with the stress management, is the, I don't know, I want to say it's like Pomodio, I don't know. Let me see.
She's speaking in tongues.
Pomodoro. Pomodoro. Dang, I cannot pronounce that.
I knew exactly what that was.
So just look it up, and it has the pomofocus.io website, and I use that quite a bit.
No, but there's so many cute websites out there for it.
It's so
many.
helpful because
oh yeah, I've used that one.
It sets it up so I'll show you just so you can see. It's just a 25-minute thing. So you're going to sit there, you're going to start the 25-minute timer, put everything away. Then it's going to give you a 5-minute break. Work for another 25 minutes. You get a 5-minute break. Another 25 minutes. After that, you get a 15-minute break. And honestly, when I have so much going on and I just need to lock in, I pull out this because I just sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to work on my essay for 25 minutes. By the end of it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to skip my break and I'm going to keep writing.
Yes, that's what happens. Because you get in that, like, zone of, like, you're just in the middle of completing whatever you're completing, and you're like, actually, I can just complete this now. Not a time milestone, but an actual, like, essay writing. It's so easy to use an essay for this. But, like, an essay writing milestone to complete it, and then you end up writing your essay really quickly. Or quicker than you would if you were wasting time.
Exactly. Okay. Do you have any more points for that?
Nope.
Okay, so my last one was pray, open your Bible, okay? Because, like, above anything else, you're not going to find comfort in, I mean, you can, but you're not going to find full comfort in anything outside of God. So just sit there, even if you just say a simple, quick prayer, like, Dear Lord, please help me during this time when I'm super stressed. It can be that simple. Sit there. Read your Bible. You can read your Bible for just one little chapter. You can read your Bible for 3 hours if that's what you need to do. But just sit there and find peace in God.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that is my number one of, I keep coming back to this, I'm like a genius or something. Spend time to save time. That's going to be my new
when
motto.
You said that,
that's going to be my new motto.
I'm so like, deep.
No, because I'm like, it's something that I do that I don't think about, and I think that's where a lot of my points, like, connect to, because I am just so smart over here, guys.
So smart. Genius level.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but like every single day I'll be like, how this Bible reading technique, spend time to save time thing is, I'll be going to bed and it'll be 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, Gigi, you need to wake up at 7 in the morning. You need 8 hours of sleep. You need to go to bed right now, but not a bone in my body. I am a night owl. I do not want to go to bed at 11. I want to go to bed at 1 at least. So I will tell myself, the only thing you're allowed to do is to read your Bible, because if you want to stay up, that is something where I'm like, God, in my mind, God's gonna reimburse me for my sleep. If I'm like, I'm reading my Bible, like I'm not doing anything bad. I'm reading my Bible. Like God can give me 15 extra minutes of energy. That is my mindset with it, and I think that's what kind of instilled this into my body.
Yeah.
Is it's like, Gigi, you can either go to bed or you can like read your Bible and journal. Those are the only options. And most of the time I do end up reading my Bible, and then at one point I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. And normally I'm not reading it for way too long, because I get bored when reading, and it's bad to say I get bored when reading the Bible, because sometimes you can get a little more into it. I'm just not a reader. I have to reread everything like 3 times. So normally I'll like read a chapter and then like read it over again. But with that being said, that's my theory.
Yeah.
I'm a genius, guys.
Okay, our last point. What do you do to recover from a crash out? So say you just had like a horrible crash out. You're
mid sitting in the grass outside in tears.
Yeah. What do you do at that point?
I would say plan out what you have to do, or like kind of think about what you have to do and what is making you so overwhelmed, and then cut out the extra things, because most of the time you will come back to those extra things. I'm not saying like be like, oh, I'm no longer completing this, but kind of really just prioritize what you need to do now and bring it down to like a very basic thing. You're writing an essay, Frederick's essay. He's working on it still. He's clearly not that productive because he's been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
But he's now crashed out, and he is only halfway through a 6-page essay. So he needs to say, I need to complete 1 more page today. And then he's prioritizing that, and he's not cutting everything else out as in throwing it out. He's just giving himself one thing, really simplifying your to-do list to what the most important things are to do, and kind of just assess your situation. I already said relax with the time you have earlier. So then I would say my last one, which is a point that I live by daily, is saving a half-wasted day. Because I used to be that person where, like, say you wake up and you're just not productive, you're tired, you're like, I don't feel like doing anything. I was the person who would then let that affect her entire day. And then one day I was scrolling on YouTube, as I do, way too much. And I saw someone be like, oh, saving a half-wasted day. And I was like, huh, interesting. And really just like restart your day. Don't say this half of the day has been so bad and so unproductive. I've done nothing. I've felt lazy. Get up. Even if you've like gotten ready for the day, get ready for the day. Even if that's just like changing what you're wearing, redoing your makeup, or doing your makeup, doing your hair, whatever it is. And I'm someone who, when I'm like locking in, working on stuff, I'm not getting ready. But sometimes, in order to save the half-wasted day, you have to get ready. You have to say new to-do list for the day, new goals for the day, new everything. Get yourself a coffee if you're a coffee person, or what would you get?
Probably Celsius.
Just get something. Get your completely scrap that half-wasted day and put it behind you, because if you're dwelling on the fact that you're being unproductive, that could literally last for days.
Yeah.
That is how you get into a rut, is by saying I was unproductive, today was unproductive, and it's only noon, but today was unproductive. So then you wake up the next day and then you're like, oh, yesterday was so unproductive. Then that mood's going to carry on and suddenly you've been unproductive for a month. So
Yeah.
save the half-wasted day while you can before you're wasting a month.
Yeah, no, I've seen that point a lot recently too. I always think about that during the school day, because during the school year I get up a lot earlier than I do during the summer, even though I was working during the summer. But I'll get up usually at like 6:30 or 7 during the school year, and then I'll work until 1 or 2 depending on how much work I have that day. But by the time it gets to 11 o'clock, if at that point I'm like, oh my goodness, I've done nothing today, the day's ruined, I look back at summer and I remember I was working 11 to 7. My workday would not have even started at that point. So that's what I use as motivation, because I'm like, what are you talking about? I would not have even started work that day. If it gets to 3 o'clock and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like no time left today, what am I going to do? I would say at 3 o'clock, I probably would not have had my lunch break at work. It's like your day is not wasted. Just know you always have time. Okay, my point. Yeah.
Yes, you have a point.
So after a crash out, I feel like one vivid crash out that sticks out, okay, I spelled that way bad, but is usually at family functions. I don't see some of my cousins and stuff too often, but like it can be really overwhelming because I'm the oldest and I'm basically expected to babysit and play with all of them. So it's a lot. And if I already have a lot on my plate, it's the holidays, it's just busy, it's chaotic. I usually end up spending a good amount of time. I'll lock myself in my grandma's bathroom and just like not talk to anybody or anything. But while I'm in there, what I'll do.
Brutal.
It's bad. You've met.
No, I have met your family, but like when it comes to my family, it's like we're all hanging out as a group.
Well, that's because you guys see each other all the time.
Yeah, we have very different family dynamics in a lot of ways, I'd say, when it comes to like outer family and such.
Yeah. But what I do is I'll reflect on my crash out and I'll see, is this a valid crash out? Do I have a legit reason, or am I tired? Do I need sleep? Do I just need a break? Like, that's how it is, like, when I'm at my grandma's, if I'm like, okay, I'm really overwhelmed right now, that's when I'll go and I'll lock myself in her bathroom, because I'm like, okay, just need a break. I just need 5 minutes to sit here in silence without someone asking me, what are we doing now? Can you play with me? Will you do this with me? Can you go help her? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, okay, I just need 5 minutes. And it just helps, because if it's a valid crash out, then that's completely fine. Like, sometimes it's completely normal. But a lot of the times, you're probably just tired. You probably just need 5 minutes of space, 5 minutes of silence. And don't be afraid to go take that time. Because if you don't, things just escalate.
Yeah, and you can go take a nap. I feel like that's something that's like, just like really, like if you're at a family function, you can't just go to sleep.
I mean, if it's bad enough, just do it. Like, would you rather be sitting there screaming at your 7-year-old cousin because she did something that got on your nerves? Or would you rather just be like, okay, guys, I'm going for 30 minutes. Leave me alone. I'll be back.
But like in your daily life, sometimes you need to sleep, because even if you have the 8 hours and such, it's just you're completely like you're disassociating in a sense from like all of the things around you. Personally, I cannot take a nap for the life of me, But if I lay down and put a pillow over my face so it's dark and everything, and I can't sleep during the day. And then I set myself a 10-minute timer. So ideally I'm taking a 10-minute nap. I'm never going to fall asleep, though. After 4 minutes of laying there, I'm going to be really bored, but somehow I'm going to have energy.
Yeah.
That's how my body works. And then I'll, look at my timer, and I'll be, 6 minutes left. And then I get up, and then I have energy. So I'm not saying a nap works for me. I do get energy from it, or from the attempt at it. A nap might be what you truly need, because there's, you're sleeping. You're not thinking about the extra things, unless you're having a dream that you slept through class, which I have way too much, and...
Yeah, that's rough. That's actually bad.
It's bad. I had to sleep. And I always remember the exact time that I woke up in my dream. So then I'm, always terrified the next day that I'm going to wake up. So, on Saturdays, I also always have these dreams on the weekends when I don't even have to worry about, school or anything.
Yeah.
I had a dream that I woke up at 10:12 in the morning, and our class is from 8 to 9:30.
That's actually bad.
And I was like, no. So then on Tuesday, so yesterday when we had class in the morning, I had 5 alarms set for myself, and normally I only set 2. I also always set an alarm on my phone and on my iPad because I'm scared one of them's not going to go off.
Yeah. I mean, I guess better to be prepared.
Yeah, because my phone's never reliable with alarms. It's really not. But my iPad is. But just in case the iPad's not reliable, the phone is set and ready to ring.
Yes. So these are our points on how to deal with stress, handle crash outs, recover from all of the above. Mm-hmm. We don't have our topic for our next
podcast, so whatever it is, it is.
Yes. You will see we have plenty of ideas.
Yeah, Callie was like, here's a list of many, many topics. And I was like, oh, wow, I haven't thought of any.
Yeah. So we'll definitely come up with something. And yes, we will see you then. Mm-hmm. So
Farewell.
long.
Adios. Peace out.
Goodbye.
Bye.